Hello, this is Pixie Lamb. If you can hear me, do you like it? It's kind of yeah, guys. If by magic it's come off my face magically. Yeah, this is a Lumerian type mask I've been working on. It's usually got a giant crystal in it. That's I think it's called a selenite crystal. So yeah, it's quite simple. This mask has actually got vinyl structure to it. I basically just drilled straight through into the forehead. Just use a normal sort of a wood type drill bit on it. I just used a large one, so I slowly drilled in through it, widened the hole. You can use like once you've got through, you can use like a round file or something like that. It's not complete. This is just sort of the early stages. As you see, it's quite powerful to have a crystal like that linking up to your third eye. Has it had any effects? Yeah, I tried it on last night, and then I saw some like shadow being. That probably lives in my flat, or hangs around with me, or whatever happens. Yeah, chuck these on there, see better. So yeah, so basically that's the starting point of that. I've the wires just to keep it on for now. I might put something else there, some type of strap. I have got some other crystals. I will be painting some metals and stuff on it. Basically, I've got copper, powdered copper. I've also got a type of iron powder. I think it's like magnetite or something like this in a powdered form, so I can paint on a design. And the purpose of that is really to have that. It's almost like I'm wearing a circuit board on my face then, because then you can link up to your you can link up to what you'd have normally. That's why I've got this little spiral I've just started drawing on there. So I'll link up to the temples. And there's also other sort of where you'd have acupressure points that run down the face. So inside the mask, I have certain things in there as well. So basically, when you put it on, you're connect up to your own energy grid. And the idea of that is you can meditate with it, put it on a wall as a bit of art, all sorts of things. So you probably want to obviously meditate to whether it's private. Anyone asks, you could just say, I'm just preparing for a fancy dress or something. Just trying something out I bought for fancy dress. Yeah, so that's one of my projects. That's the type of Lumerian mask, or this is like a unicorn mask, I guess, or uni mask, or what was it? I thought of something else, but I can't think of it at the moment. It's likely I have like it will be black inside. So what I'm going to do with the metals, with the magnetite, mix it into a black paint and put that within there, and then like I say, highlight certain points of it. Energy grid sort of here across your forehead and so on. So when you put it on, you're connecting up to it, and then I put a varnish of some sorts over the top, because you don't want it actually coming off on your face. I wish you took it off and you had like it was all black like a minstrel, but you had like copper lines and stuff. You might look pretty bonkers, I'd say. Well, it's certainly very different anyway. People would want to know why you're walking around with a big copper strip down your face. So yeah, so that's one of my projects. And them kind of masks you can buy in any hobby place. You know, they're not massively expensive. I thought originally it was just like paper mache, but it turns out sort of compacted. It turned out it had vinyl, so it was very hard to sort of cut into. You can use other tools. I forgot to bring my other tool. I was going to sort of just show quickly, but yeah, I've got like a flaming torch. Oh, it's interesting. I've got a squirrel coming right up to me as well. So I can basically, any rough edges I can sort of burn around and sort of neaten it up. It does have some paper and card on the outside of it, so if you do use any sort of application of fire, just to be aware of that, because that will burn. So yeah, so that's that mask in progress. And to be honest, it's not that expensive. If you bought the Lumerian crown, you'd probably spend a lot more money than you would ever spend on something like that. It's just having the time and the will to make it. I think it's better you make your own masks, because they represent you. You'll put your creative thought in it. I've already got a sort of connection with this mask anyway, because it's been sort of created here before it ever come out into its physical form. Now I've got something else sweet as well that I've created. This is like a dragon creature I've created. It's for a friend. So he basically saw some artwork I did, and then he thought, oh, I'd really like that. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you a dragon. Because I come across this thing, and then basically I went to an art and hobby shop, and they have like these paper mache type animal bodies. So you can have a good look at it. And it's also got a bell at the back. So I'll explain it. I'll go through explain what's got on there. Well, this is me back. I've decided to go mobile. It's just sometimes when you do videos, because I quite like doing the videos in the car, because it's like my office really. Yeah, so basically I'll explain that device, and the other thing is it started drawing a lot of attention. So guy sat in the van and told him to sort of like think, "Are you right, mate?" or something. You're talking to your car. You talk to your phone. What's going on? Communicate to my phone. That's what everyone does, doesn't it? It's a bit weird when someone's staring at you. So, telling him to sort of, hey, this is his number plate, officer. He's not quite right. Yeah. So, back to that dragon thing I created. Basically, he's from this like paper mache type body. I saw a dragon. I thought, yeah, that would be lovely. I bet he would love that. So that's why I've got that. And what I've done is I've had it's got a crystal on its back. It's like a Lumerian crystal. I popped in there. I wrapped a kind of like solenoid type thing around it, and that's a good pot. Yeah, so I wrapped a copper wire around it, so it's had this wrapped around the crystal, creates this kind of solenoid, that Tesla type thing, whereby a current will build on top of itself. Because they don't really know how electricity works, they just have an idea. Actually, they tell you a lot of fake stuff. An electron runs through the wire or something. They never really explained that, and if they knew that that's not how it works, why didn't they just say so? It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than someone making up some stuff about other things. I just want to talk about it as there we go. It's rolling. Yeah, sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of privacy. There we go. So basically, we'll come back to this chap here. So I've coated it with clay. In his eyes, he's actually got some semi-precious gemstones. I saw these nice green stones, and I thought they would look nice for his eyes. He's got that crystals actually shoved about there. It's quite difficult. I was going to have it coming off his, off a crest or off his head, so it's projecting outwards, but it didn't look quite right, and it's quite a large crystal. So I've ended up shoving it in there and sort of coating it with. So it's actually quite longer than it shows. It's let me get my finger in the right spot. So it's down here, so it goes up to about here. So the end of it's showing. So then light goes into that. So I build it up with the clay, allowed the clay to set. Then I've basically done some paintwork on it. So you see, I've sort of adapted it. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I want to stick feathers on it, which was sort of like a new challenge. So it's got like cockerel type feathers, and it's also got another little sort of solenoid type thing. This wire is silver coated and gold coated. The feathers I glued on. It's got a mixture of things. Actually, it's even got like a glow in the dark stuff on it. So at night, if it was dark, you wouldn't see it properly all glowed up, but you just have the little bits of light coming from it. So it's quite nice because it gives this sort of strange effect. I might not say anything to him, so this guy pop in his room at night and he'd be asleep, it'd be all dark, and he'd go, it's glowing. He'd probably say, I just say, oh yeah, that's probably the chi flowing through it or something, something like energy like that. He will love it though. So I put some PVC type glue that I've chosen. Because at first I just like shoving any feather on virtually when I was doing the wings. I was thinking, and then I thought, well, you want ones that represent more flight type ones. They're not quite, because these are kind of like a peacock. They have to open them up and show them off, sort of stuff. Yeah, so he's got these sort of breast feathers that are all stuck to the body. I used the sort of light furry ones because on your inside more vulnerable and it keeps them warm that way. And these ones are sort of the main sort of tail type feathers that I've put across. Yeah, I glued it. And the other thing I've done to compact it down, I've got a hand spray type varnish. So I've used that to sprays on it. So basically, technically, this is like part Orgone, part sort of natural materials and other things. The crystals have a kind of consciousness about it. I think yesterday I could kind of sense it, to be honest. It's quite strange. So I've laid in my bed and I can almost imagine this giant head like that that's leaning over me. So maybe I did sort of create something, like a spell, a bit of alchemy going on. So yeah, so that's that, and I think I've explained the mask. So hopefully the mask I'll develop, I'll do some work on it today, and I might have it finished by today, or I might not. It might be sort of a lot more longer. I mean, you could use feathers and stuff on the mask. There are different masks where you just got like this part of your face. If you were going to wear it out in a public place, you'd probably wear it a darker colour. You could wear any colour really, but you can blend it in. You basically can blend it in with your face. If you wear something that's like neon, then basically it would stand out, and therefore, if you want to draw more attention to yourself, that's fine. If you wear a colour that's kind of like more pastel or something like that, it will blend in a bit more. Like if you wore something that was skin coloured, you would hardly see it at all with the copper and then just a crystal coming out, or a smaller crystal. I mean, there's lots of different designs you could do. You don't have to have a crystal strapped to your head all the time. You could just have it. I mean, it's a bit like meditation. People, can meditate when they're going around with their eyes open. Some people, if they develop that, but people wouldn't spend, they wouldn't spend all day meditating. And then trying to do normal stuff, they'd have to set time aside for that. So, in the same way as that you could wear that thing, meditate, focus on stuff. Other bit of information is I've been on about stars. Stars are quite interesting. They're kind of portals of consciousness, and there's stars within us as well. I've got this. I think I've got my other video up about just orbs. It's just really strange when I went to sleep. But I was looking at stars, I was staring at a star, and I noticed how sort of larger it seemed, and then the pulses of it as well. They're not atmospheric disturbance because they don't really know what goes on NASA. Because they just the thing is no one's been straight enough with the information about stuff. Like if an astronaut's in space, they say we can't see the stars, but when they hit the atmosphere, somehow you can see them because they're magnified. That's what they say. Oh, they're magnified, and then there's suddenly atmospheric distortion that makes them twinkle. So it's kind of like, well, you can't see them, but you can see them, and you can see them because of this reason. There's just too many sort of variables there. So it just doesn't make enough sense to me itself, and I'm not saying there is no space or anything bizarre like that, because that's like saying there's no air around me because I can feel it but I can't see it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not there, sort of thing. So just that I think possibly when you look at something, your consciousness influences and creates reality. So therefore, if you went to a different solar system, you went there from a distance before you got there, there might have been absolutely nothing there. It may require a conscious mind or consciousness to enter that area to create something. Or by you being there, life would be created on that planet because you'd be kind of like the ripple effect. Because you're there, you're the variable that causes that change in the rest of the consciousness of the other planets. So that's a little bit higher self coming in and speaking, because you speak a little faster and quicker. And it's like when you're at work and you think you've just had a coffee that's kick-started your brain, but actually just really tuned in. So there's portals of consciousness, so you can kind of concentrate on them and meditate. So do a bit what you call stargazing as well. Moon gazing is interesting. Sun gazing, you just got to be a bit careful, because I used to love that, and in one big blast, and I ended up my veins come up in my eyes. I thought, well, I don't know if this is what I should be doing. Maybe there's another way you can view the sun. You can do like curtains, if a curtain's closed, just to filter, because really you're interested in the frequency, not the level of energy. It's a bit like you can warm yourself up with a fire, but you wouldn't put your head inside the flame. it just would be the intensity would be much higher than you need. I also noticed if you filmed the sun, and I've got on my other videos, I can feel the chi from that. It's like music. Like you've visually seen the code for something, the sequence, and it activates that spiritual levels of that as well. Stars are very interesting though. So, but sometimes they seem bigger than others. That is weird. Do you know what I just seen? So be be careful with stuff. Not be too careful. That was very bizarre. I just saw a spirit there for a second, and because there's nobody standing there, and I've got my Lumerian mask right here on my sort of driver's side, and I just saw something like it walked up to the side here, so you can see where my hand is here. So I got that in the corner of my eye. Somebody wearing a blue top and out and just gazed in. But then I looked slightly, and there's no one there. So that's absolutely bonkers. So either I'm in a different dimension, or that person's from a different dimension, but they're interested. I tell you what, they're interested in that crystal. They're interested in that mask. They're interested in these devices I make because they just keep turning up. Other thing, if you do have any kind of spiritual encounters, like you see a shadow that's sort of like, like where this seatbelt bit is, you see a lot of bit of blackness there. Don't freak out. Just be cool, because these things are there all the time. It's just that you don't pick up on them. If you want to develop any kind of clairvoyance senses or anything like that, then you need to just chill out and allow it to be a natural process. A bit like if an animal turned up, like a bird or something landed there, I wouldn't sort of like, shit, what the hell's that? If I'd never seen it before, or I had a natural fear to things, like a cat jumped out of a tree and landed there, then, first you might have an initial shock, but you shouldn't get into an emotional state over these things. It's like yesterday, I was laying on the bed, I could see these dark beings. It could be my eyesight as well. And I just relax your pupils, you let your focus, and you see it gets more darker anyway. And then you might notice things just like movement through these shadows, like if you was in the dark and you moved your hand, and your eyes were open, obviously not closed, or you could do it closed. Sometimes you can actually see things, but you get actually when you put your eyes closed and you move your hand across, you get that kind of, you can pick up the fact that your hand just moved by, so you get a bit of that going on. But these things don't have physical bodies. They can't attack this body. They can only work with your fear if you give it to them, or if you try to control them in some way. They might feel a bit threatened by that and be trying to respond. It's a bit like like I said about the cat analogy. If a cat jumped out of a tree and I grabbed hold of it, the cat wanted to get away, then the cat would want to resist that. He wouldn't just lay there and wait and take it. So there's a lot more there. Anyway, I'm gonna shoot off and do my other bits and bobs now. So I've shared that with you, and that's a good bit of a starter really. And then I'll just, as I develop things, develop more stuff, I sort of share information as required, or as you want to know about it really. So anyway, it's Pixie signing off, and have a good one.